Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and welcome to our football construction site as we build the team through the 2018 NFL Draft. You always hear others say that this particular draft is weak, or wait until next year to take this particular position, or the draft is an inexact science. Well, we at Football Game Plan believe that all three of those statements are huge myths, and we are here to show you why, as we will infuse talent onto each NFL team to make them better. First, let us all get familiar with the mock draft rules. Number one, these mock drafts will be utilizing the grading system at Football Game Plan Scouting. So yes, some of the players will probably be graded higher or lower than what is seen elsewhere, which is why you will probably see some players in the later rounds or earlier rounds than they will actually go. Which leads me to my second point. These picks are based off what I would do as the GM, not based off what I think will happen or what will happen, of what I've heard. They're based off what I would do if I were the GM, based off what I perceive the team needs to be. And finally, it's just a mock draft. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Also, to check out those rankings or gradings of these prospects, visit the website at the bottom of the screen. The Green Bay Packers have a whopping 12 picks in this year's draft. Having that many picks can be tough when you don't have a lot of needs or holes to fill on your roster. So I would expect them to be very busy on draft day, moving up to target specific players. In round one, I addressed arguably their biggest need in cornerback with Carlton Davis out of Auburn. He's a good press corner that uses his size and length to his advantage to completely blanket a wide receiver. I think he would be a very good player day one in the NFL. Braden Smith graded out as my top guard prospect in this draft class, and the Packers snatch him up here in round two. He has good all-around game and could easily be a starter as a rookie. Kentavious Street out of North Carolina State has the versatility to legitimately play anywhere within the front seven. He's a guy that you definitely want on the field at all times, in some sort of capacity. He's also coming off of a stellar week down at the East-West Shrine game. With the first of two picks in the fourth round, I went with strong safety Terrell Edmunds out of Virginia Tech. He's an above-average athlete and a terrific football player that could allow a guy like Josh Jones to play more of a linebacker role as opposed to more of a more traditional safety with coverage responsibilities. Dorrance Armstrong Jr. out of Kansas had a lot of buzz coming into the season, but couldn't quite push the needle forward this year. But there's definitely a lot of talent and athleticism to work with as a pro. To me, he's one of the true wild cards in this draft class. In the fifth round, I like Jamil Demby out of Maine. I think he can play guard or tackle as a pro, as he was dominant in the CAA, which is one of the top conferences, if not the top conference in the FCS. He also held his own pretty well at the Senior Bowl this past January. Justin Watson out of Penn is one of my favorite prospects in this draft class. He can play any one of the four receiver positions and has the rack skills, the run after the catch skills, to be considered a true threat. He's been flying under the radar despite his career at Penn and what he did both at the East-West Shrine game and Senior Bowl. Kenny Young out of UCLA is a solid backer that could challenge for a lot of time on the inside as a rookie. At worst, he at least upgrades the depth at inside linebacker. The same can be said for Jannard Avery out of Memphis. I think he can play inside backer or on the outside. He's been garnering a lot of buzz based off his workouts, but his tape is where the buzz should have started a long time ago, as he's going to find his way onto an NFL roster and stick. Grant Haley out of Penn State adds to the depth of the secondary. He's a very good slot corner that can start initially out on special teams and excel. Johnson C. Smith's Carlo Thomas is one of the big-time sleepers in this draft class. He's your classic deep third free safety with some of the best ball skills and instincts in this draft class. Thomas finished his career with 22 interceptions, bringing 4 back to the house for touchdowns and also 2 kickoff return touchdowns as well. Keep an eye on him, as he's a late draftee prospect or priority free agent that could surprise. And wrapping up the Packers mock draft with Damon Gibson, the tight end out of Minnesota State Moorhead. He was down at the East-West Shrine game working on his blocking, but he's a terrific receiver in a tight end's body, and that just adds to the weaponry around quarterback Aaron Rodgers. So that's a wrap for this edition of Building Through the Draft. If you want to watch our other NFL Team 7-round mock draft videos, as you should, be sure to subscribe to us on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan, where you can also catch all of our FBGP scouting prospect ranking videos, and also subscribe to Football Game Plan podcast on iTunes and check out the Scout Team podcast.